Hello everyone, welcome to Trio Planet, the YouTube channel where we talk all things media. I am Azteral, and today is The Mandalorian, Episode 5, titled The Pirate. Today, like always, I am joined by my good friend Jordan.
Hey everybody.
Who I believe I'm hearing an echo from. No, I'm not. Okay, we're good. I heard an echo for a split second. We're good. So yes, episode 5 of The Mandalorian Season 3 is upon us. We've just finished watching it. Pretty good episode.
This was episode 3.
Episode 5.
Oh.
I said episode 5 of Season 3.
Oh, I thought you said episode 3.
It's titled The Pirate, so as you guess, it probably involves the people from good old episode 1. You'd be correct in that assumption. But it opens on Navarro, and to Greef Karga, High Magistrate Greef Karga, discussing things with builders about how to build a trade port. They get interrupted by the flagship of the pirate lord called something. I can't remember the pirate lord's name at this moment, but I will find out, because that is important to the rest of this episode. The pirate lord is called Carson Taver. Nope, that is not him. Where is he? Gorian Shard. That is the name of the pirate lord. And he starts bombarding the city of Navarro. Very sad. People start to evacuate. Greef Karga sends a message to the New Republic, to the Captain Carson Taver, who picks it up on a New Republic outpost where a bunch of New Republic flight crews seem to be chilling, hanging out, having a drink. He's given the message and he watches it, and he's like, yeah, need to go do something about that. And then we get a surprise appearance from a live action Gara Zebarelios. And, well, I'm sure me and Jordan will get into all of that after the breakdown, but let's just say the disbelief was real. So Carson Taver heads to Coruscant to discuss the issue with Colonel Tuttle, who's played by Tim Meadows, and their conversation is interrupted by Elia Kane, who is the very nice lady from episode 3, I believe. Yeah, episode 3, with the Grand Adventures of Dr. Pershing. And she basically convinces Tuttle to not send in any backup to Navarro, and he's very upset at this fact. So the Greef Karga sets up camp for his people. Taver heads to the Mandalorian camp and attempts to recruit, or more push, the Mandalorians into action, but before they can, Din has to convince them. So they hold like a ceremony, and Din makes his plea, and the armor asks if anyone wishes to speak, and someone does, and it's good old Paz Vizsla. You know, that guy. And he starts listing things off, and you're like, oh god, he's trying to stop people from going, yeah, let's help Navarro. And then he goes, no, we should help because we are Mandalorians. This is the way. And everyone obviously chants that with him. So they decide to go help, and we finally get the name of forgot her name, Bo-Katan's ship. Bo-Katan. But I'm still going to call it the Arrow, mainly because it sounds cool, but also because I don't know how to pronounce the actual ship's name. It's like really like weird. So they come up with a plan. They fly in. Din starts distracting the fighters, and Bo-Katan drops off 2 waves of Mandalorian ground troops. And I think it's safe to say, Jordan, it's like watching a military operation unfold.
It really was. It was like they were doing military tactics.
It was very, very entertaining. Me and Jordan were up in like uproar of like, my god, this is so cool. Grief Karga basically tells Mando, you need to be careful, man, you're outnumbered like 10-1. And Mando comes back with the obvious rebuttal that Mando's going to come back with, which is, I like those odds. And Karga's like, of course you do. So they start kicking the shit out of the pirates. After a pretty intense battle, I might add, the pirate ship is put down and does indeed crash. I believe killing the pirate.
Yeah, it blew up.
However, we don't actually see his death, and the golden rule of cinema really is if you don't see it happen, they can always come back. So I guess we'll see. But after all of that, also during the fight, the armorer absolutely like puts in work.
The armorer was
annihilates a group of people.
She was fucking badass. She really was.
Just thought I should mention that. Afterwards, High Magistrate Grief Karga, says, "Listen, we're in debt to you, Mandalorian. So all this land I'm conceding to you. You may not have Mandalore anymore, but you have a home." During this, Paz comes up to Bo-Katan and says the armorer wishes to speak with you. And when they arrive at the forge from season 1, it's a very surprising set of words that leave her mouth, isn't it, Jordan?
Yeah.
The words being, remove your helmet. Me and Jordan were like, what?
I was questioning why the hell she was asking, because even Bo-Katan was questioning, and even
hesitated.
She was hesitant because it's like she had accepted that this is what she was a part of now, and as soon as the armorer said it, I was like, wait, why?
And we're told exactly why, Jordan. It's a good segue, that. They come out and they're walking, and you're like, yeah, Bo-Katan's probably put her helmet back on. She hasn't.
No.
In front of all the Mandalorians, she's helmetless. And the armorer states very loudly, Bo-Katan has walked both paths, and so she's the one who will bring us all together.
I feel like this is what the armorer has been wanting for a while as well.
I think so as well. And Din, the one with the Darksaber, looks to Paz, who's like standoffish, and Din nods and is like, yeah, go. And so we cut away to deep space, to a transport shuttle, and anyone who made the assumption, the guess, any of those adjectives, Moff Gideon has indeed seemingly escaped capture or trial. But who helped him? It's a bit weird. It's not like it'd be like a grand conspiracy or oh wait, that's Beskar alloy. Who uses Beskar, Jordan?
Mandalorians will.
And what's the issue with that, Jordan?
The Republic know a bunch of Mandalorians.
The Republic know a bunch of Mandalorians, but also what's Bo-Katan gone to do?
Find Mandalorians.
Uh-oh. But the episode ends there with the nice little cliffhanger. I must say that this episode has got to be the best.
It definitely is. I'm agreeing with you on that. It has to be the best episode so far.
as cool as episode 4 was with the Mandalorian culture, this one made me love Mandalorians even more.
All the way through the episode, me and Will was talking, fuck being a Jedi, we want to be Mandalorians.
I want to be a Mandalorian, man. Could you imagine?
Okay, let's talk about the cameo.
Let's talk about the big.
Let's talk. Here we go, guys. Here we go.
So, Steve Bloom as Zeb Aurelio. John.
Zeb from the
in live action.
In live action.
I want you to do something. I want you to put a picture on screen right now of somewhere of animated Zeb, animated Zeb, and live action Zeb side by side. What an accomplishment on the part of the effects team.
It looks so clean. It looks. I know, like, Star Wars really loves doing practical costumes for characters, and this CGI is fucking just amazing.
I have to say, I see no difference. Disbelief. I was in constant disbelief of the entire thing. At first, I thought, "Oh, look, that's a Lasot. That's cool." And then he spoke, and I was like, "Hang on a second, that voice sounds familiar." And then Jordan started freaking out, and then I listened more, and then I noticed that he was wearing New Republic uniform, and then I started freaking out, and then we were both like, "That's Zeb Aurelio."
That's Zeb.
And
it was a minor little thing as well, but
they did not thing it out. I'm starting to understand why the image for the episode wasn't on Disney Plus.
Because for us, I don't know if it was for everybody around the world, but for me and Will, the episode synopsis wasn't there. It just said, "Watch the episode" at the bottom. Where the synopsis usually is, it legit just said, "Watch the episode."
The episode, and I'm glad I did.
And the thing on the screen had nothing on it. It had no preview image. They'll probably add that later, but we don't think that was a glitch. We think that was intentional.
I have to say, right, cameo aside, right, the cameo added so much without being a main focus. I have to say,
he walks up without any warning.
Without any draw to him. And if you didn't know who he was, you would think, "Oh, it's just some random."
He was in
character.
focus. He was in focus. The same with the guy who we were looking at.
Yeah.
And I just looked up and saw his face, and was like, "Is that no? Really not." He sat down, spoke one word, and was like, "That is fucking Zeb."
That is Zeb. Oh. Now I have a feeling that is to set up stuff for Ahsoka.
Yeah, as we know, because we're getting Sabine Wren. We're getting obviously Ahsoka. We're getting Ezra as well. So in the Ahsoka show, we're getting basically a lot of the Rebels characters. So I think Zeb will definitely be in that show. And I'm guessing him being in this is basically just to show us, Ahsoka's on its way. Ahsoka's doing it. Yeah, that they can actually make this character look really well done.
And I have to say, even if he isn't in Ahsoka, that the idea of the Rangers of the New Republic, I think I've found you your new main draw. Forget Cara Dune. Get Zeb in there, because the effects on that, I could not tell you if that was full CGI or full practical, obviously or if it was 50-50. But whatever it was, holy shit,
to me,
I want more.
I have a feeling it's a mix of practical effects and CG.
I think that as well.
Because when movies or TV do practical with CG, a lot of Star Wars does it a lot as well. It works so well for anything. Mix CGI with practical, looks fantastic. But, my god, fucking Zeb. But yeah, I think this entire episode was definitely the best so far.
Yeah.
Seeing, I always thought, with Paz, he looks so menacing, and he looks so, done with Din Djarin shit all the time, that when he starts speaking, and when he actually agrees with Din, I'm sat there like, Paz, are you okay?
Nah, Jordan, we were sat there, we were giving him shit for speaking. He was like delivering this speech about why should they sacrifice their life, and we were like, fucking hell, Paz, of course you have to come in and intervene.
I think I even said myself that he saved your son.
Yeah.
And then he actually, he said yes, and I was like, oh, okay.
And he was like, this man saved my son, this is the way. And then everyone went, this is the way, and honestly.
And now they have a home.
Finally. Now they have a home. That's the thing.
It's also cool. Yeah, go on.
This entire story, Din has never had a proper home, and now him and Grogu have a home on Navarro. I have to say that if any of the episodes can top this one, I will be genuinely surprised.
But it's also a fact that Paz Vizsla says, he points to Grogu and says, all that happened because of that foundling.
For one foundling.
And what does he do? He willingly says, I will do it again. And that just shows volumes of how well even his family, who were, dickheads, he's the one of the Vizslas who's, actually good. And it's also a fact that he is such a good character, played by Jon Favreau. Doesn't sound like Jon Favreau though. But I want to talk about the whole action sequences were fucking great. Cinematography was always good.
Very well.
Seeing the Mandalorians kind of take a military type of stance was cool to see. They weren't just there gun blazing; they were actually doing military things. They were doing hand signals and everything like that, dropping in, actually doing what militaries do, and it was cool to see. And Paz Vizsla just comes in with a fucking minigun. They're all being cut down and that they're all being shot at and stuff like that. Paz Vizsla comes in with a fucking minigun, proper going at it, and it was fucking cool to see.
One thing has to be said, and that is, if all of the Mandalorians that we have seen in these action sequences are cosplayers, give them permanent roles.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Give them actual characters.
Because in season 1, a lot of the stormtroopers were cosplayers.
Because I have never seen a more believable culture shown on a show than these Mandalorians. These Mandalorians, clearly the people portraying them have a deep love for the craft, because they are putting 150%.
If you guys have ever seen someone who cosplays as a Mandalorian, not just as the Mandalorian like Din, but as their own Mandalorian, if you go to cosplay conventions or whatever, I've always seen videos of people dressed up in Mandalorian armor, but it's their own design. People make their own designs of Mandalorian armor all the time, and these armors in the show look like something cosplayers would have made. And to be honest, if it is, I won't be surprised.
Yeah,
they look fucking great.
Thoroughly impressed.
I'm impressed.
Big shout out, right? Big shout out. Not just to Jon Favreau for writing the episode, but to Peter Ramsey for directing it.
It was Bryce Dallas Howard. It was
Peter Ramsey for this one.
Was it?
Yep. IMDb confirms it was Peter Ramsey.
I went on YouTube and I went on Twitter and it said Bryce Dallas Howard.
It says Peter Ramsey on
Unless she's directing the
IMDb.
Next one.
She might be directing the next one. This one says that it is indeed Peter Ramsey. Big shout out to him. And it's not surprising at all when you realise that he's known for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's not surprising at all that this was that.
And also, I want to talk about the whole Bo-Katan thing as well.
Bryce Dallas Howard is next week's, by the way.
Oh, right. Got you then. So I want to talk about the whole thing with Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan in this is I think the Armorer wanted her to live as a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
She wanted her to live like they did, like they are, and like it seems like the Armor is obviously saying that our culture is changing, we are changing, and at the end of the day, no matter what path or the way you follow, you are still a Mandalorian. Like I feel like that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
I feel like she says that we can't go against petty differences anymore. That they have to actually be Mandalorians, and the way to do that is because as soon as she heard that there was a mythosaur left, as soon as she heard Bo-Katan say there was a mythosaur, I feel like Bo-Katan going around telling people that she saw one will liberate them and bring them back into the fold. And this, not that I don't think this season will end like it, but probably the show will end like it, where they are living in Mandalore again.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see where things go. Bo-Katan is now going to be the center of getting every Mandalorian back and bringing their people back to where they are. And Mandalorian culture has to be the most richest and coolest and badass culture in Star Wars or in any other media. Because I have to agree, they are fucking fantastic. And they put so much care. I just want to thank Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and every other director on the show for giving Star Wars fans a show that we fucking love. That is not just Jedi or anything like that. Actually exploring other sides of the universe, because the movies have the Jedi and everything, and we can deal with that. But we like Jedi, but I think with me and Will, we can both agree Mandalorians are way cooler.
Mandalorians are so much cooler than Jedi. Like, yeah, I get it. You guys have the Force, but like, I have a wrist rocket and a blaster and Beskar armor. Who really has better gear, huh?
Mandalorians as well have such a rich history. It's cool to see. But I'm gonna give this episode. Do I really want to give it a 10 out of 10? Fuck it, I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10.
So am I. That's two in a day. That's
twice in a day we've given an episode a 10 out of 10.
Bad Batch
gets if you guys, obviously Bad Batch comes out before this, so if you've watched our Bad Batch review, we gave that a 10 out of 10.
For the last episode, not the overall season.
Not the overall season, but yeah. But, damn, that was...
I loved this episode. It goes to show, because we didn't even do separate thoughts. We both just rabbled.
Yeah, we just rabbled on. That's how good this episode was. We couldn't just do separate things. We both... Here's the thing. This is why me and Will do these reviews. Because we know that... Obviously, we're going to have different views on such stuff and that. But we agree on a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We tend to agree on a lot of stuff. And it's cool to see the fact that Mandalorians brought
they effectively brought Star Wars back.
They've brought Star Wars back so fucking much. And to be honest with you, even though that they are probably planning to do the First Order thing and have the sequel still canon, I'm still sat here thinking, yeah, but maybe Mandalorian will make it even better.
Yeah. Maybe Mandalorian will add the context the sequels desperately needed.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and all that are leading to a big event.
Yeah,
definitely. They're leading to something. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for this episode, definitely.
Well done to everyone involved in it.
Yeah.
Every VFX artist, every writer, every post-production, pre-production.
I want to mention as well. I want to mention to you guys as well. We did an episode of the pod where we were talking about Marvel's, whole situation with that. I mentioned about the woman who quit who basically people said that she would basically uphold the VFX team, and basically that's the reason why VFX in the Marvel shows and films wasn't crisp, because she was she was basically giving people 10 times the work that they deserved and stuff like that. Like, a lot of stuff came out about her, and if it's true, then that's horrible. But Star Wars has just proven that, look at Seb, he is fucking CGI. Like, if he is full on CGI, I can't tell. That guy looks real as hell.
Do you know, if I was a kid, right? Do you know, if I was a kid still, and I had no knowledge of how movies and stuff are made, I would probably sit there and be like, man, there's people in the world like that.
Yeah, exactly.
People look like that. Like, no, it's not just how real the actual character looks, because the character can look as real as possible, but if it doesn't fit in the environment, it looks off. But it's the way that the light interacts with him.
Yeah,
it just
even when because when he's sat and you see his face and there's a window behind him and the light shining through, the light actually shines his face, and then he's still got dark on his parts as well. So where the light is coming through, it's hitting where it should, and where the dark is coming through, it should hit there, and it looks great. Unlike when She-Hulk, she was I don't know what it was, but for some reason in any lighting she looked the same.
Yeah. And it's the micro expressions, his face doesn't just sit there.
No.
A thing with visual effects is, if you're doing a CG'd character, it's very easy to have the face just sit there.
Yeah.
But his face contorts, the wrinkles change and adapt on his face as he's they
definitely went through that.
Lips or something. Zeb alone is proof that it's not impossible to do a character like Zeb justice in a live action sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Overall, Zeb as a CG'd character, I would watch a full blown show with that look, with Zeb looking like that.
He looks phenomenal. He just does. He looks fucking great. And he's a character that we all know and love from Rebels, because he was so funny, he was cool, he was badass, and yeah, I can't wait to see if he is in the Ahsoka series. And if he is, and he's looking like that, I'm going to be sat all the way through it just wondering, how the fuck did you make that?
Yeah, massive props.
I'm going to put a photo, at some point in the episode, I'll put a photo that I've just found of him down below. I'm actually save it now so I know, and show you guys how good it fucking looks. See, it looks amazing, and I'm very excited to see where things are going with this season. I can't wait.
Neither can I. But I do believe that is everything, Jordan.
Yeah, that's everything. We've already. If you guys at the end of our Bad Batch episode, if you want to go back, there is an update for you. There is a bit of an update thing for you there, and some information about stuff. So go and check that out. We won't add that here as well. So
yeah, indeed there is. But if you did enjoy this review of Mandalorian Episode 5, The Pirate, Chapter 21, do not forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and do all that garbage that YouTubers ask you to do. I have been one of your hosts, Azteral.
I've been your other host, Slasher.
And remember, as always, this is the way.
This is the way.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
We forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them.
It's over, Anakin!